Morning, dubbers. How we doing? This is my first vlog since I did my one entitled First Trip Out. I haven't done any more driving since then. I did the 3 days working for a company out of Tuxford, which if I'm absolutely honest with you, I didn't totally enjoy. It was multi-drop in an old truck that was battered and a bit embarrassing to drive. And then I had some obligations for my catering agency that I still do, and I have been on holiday. I got back early hours of Sunday morning, which I'll tell you about. Yeah, so this is my first day back on the job, and I'm working out a Nottingham company near Colwick, and I'm trunking today. I've got 2 drops and I'm in the Portsmouth area, so quite a trek. And it was a 4:30, I repeat myself just in case you didn't get me, 4:30 AM start this morning, which is a bit of a bind when you've had a couple of days like I've had, but it's also really nice because there's no traffic about. You get to see the sun come up. It's kind of strangely relaxing. So yeah, I've had a good run down here, done my first drop. The second drop's for the same customer but back to their base, which is 35 miles away. So what have I been doing? I've been on my holidays. I went to Cornwall. But I'll show you on the map where I went. Right, this is Cornwall, and we stayed right down here. I don't know if it's focusing. Let's see if we can zoom in. That might be better. Oh, 1 minute. Yeah, sorry about that. I was that was the yard wanting to know where I was, making sure everything was going to plan. But yeah, I don't know if it's focusing on that. But anyway, this part of Cornwall is called the Lizard, and normally we stay in a place called Mullion, but because we booked it late because of my driver training, we decided we didn't know if we were going to Cornwall this year, but the law's too strong, so we packed everything in the car and away we went, and we stayed in a place called Cougar, and it was a campsite, Char something or other. And do you know what? It sucked donkey dick is what it did. Let me turn it around. Yeah, the pitches were on a big slope. I mean, it was a beautiful view out into the bay, absolutely stunning, and the facilities weren't bad. It wasn't a bad campsite, but like when you got a big tent like we have, it really needs to be on the flat. Yeah, so that was the first problem. We were down at the bottom of the hill, so we didn't get to see that view every morning, and the pitch was sloping, so everything just wanted to roll away. When you were cooking, like the frying pan would want to slide off the stove, etc. But the worst problem, absolute worst problem with the campsite, is that right in the corner of the field, behind a load of bushes, and they bloody well knew about this, there's a storage treatment thing. I don't know what they call them, silo, whatever. They're round, and they have like stones in them, and that spray thing. And there's one of them behind the bushes, and it stunk. And who wants to go on holiday next to a storage farm? Who? And I had noticed that I looked at the reviews. 1 or 2 people said that, yeah, you know, it's a great site, yeah, lovely, lovely. But there was the odd mention of this smell. Well, I dare say if you're at the top of the hill and you're on a relatively flat part away from the storage, I dare say you'd be delighted with your campsite. But we weren't. We were at the bottom of the hill next to a storage farm. Way hey. So, not happy with that at all, because it's such a big tent, it's a frame tent, it takes such a long while to put up. That's it. We weren't moving. My wife did try to complain, but the woman was quite rude to her, so that's as far as that went. But then I think it was Thursday come around. We had a mixed bag. We had a day that was a bit drizzly, what they call Cornish mist and whatnot. But we had a couple of nice days. But and then came Thursday, and at 2 o'clock in the morning it began to rain. And it was still raining at 6 o'clock in the morning. It was still raining at 12 o'clock afternoon. Still raining at 6 o'clock in the evening. Still raining at midnight. In fact, it didn't stop raining until about 5 o'clock the next morning. It rained constantly from 2 a.m. to 5 a.m. the next day. And I'm not talking about a bit of drizzle, not that PTK stuff that, you know, it's fine rain but it wets you through. No, none of that bollocks. It was proper heavy rain. So, yeah, you imagine, like, the slope was like a river. Nobody could get off the bottom field. Like, it was nigh on impossible. So you were stuck next to this stench in a tent playing cards because you couldn't go anywhere else. I mean, luckily we got a TV and stuff. Some people are like a bit more primitive when they go camping, but me, we glamp. No camping, glamp. So we got the telly, fridge, everything. But yeah, it wasn't great. But yeah, then it comes to the journey home, and as those that go to Cornwall know, you have to go via the A30 to get in and out of Cornwall. Or you don't have to. There's a million and one ways, but you'd be silly not to. Yeah, so the A30, and at the Launceston, it goes down to a single carriageway, and the Cornish Council have decided that they're going to widen this into dual carriageway. So the whole lot, right from Exeter all the way into Cornwall, will be dual carriageway, which will be great. It'll make getting in and out loads better. So bearing this in mind, we decided that we were going to stay down Cornwall until probably 4:30, make a day of it on the beach, bite to eat, all that jazz. Then we were going to set off, which we did. And we missed all the traffic. We had a brilliant run all the way up to Bristol M5 when my car blew the turbo inlet hose. It went pop. It just blew out. Now I've owned my car since, it had got 64,000 miles on it when I bought it, something like that, and it's just coming up to 200,000 miles on it. So you can't buy Saabs anymore. So I'm having to look after this one. And yeah, so this hose went. Now ever since I've had it, I've noticed there was a joint in that particular hose I'm talking about, and it looked like a copper pipe. And it's never given me any bother, so I've never worried with it. Well, it popped out. Well, it turns out this copper pipe is actually plastic, copper coloured plastic. And what had happened, because I was running about 85 miles an hour, it had got really hot, it had started to deform, and the lip of it dropped down. Of course it runs under high pressure, and the fact that the lip dipped down, it shot off, so that was it. So I went into the service station, did a quick repair on it, a few miles up it did the same again. I cut a bit off that pipe, made a new joint, got a bit further up, did it again, and then cleaned everything up, cleaned all the oil off it, did it one more time, because that was at the side of the M5 at this time, and I got into the service station. Then I called Green Flag. Now, oh you bugger, there was near an accident. Oh, these old boys, they're no good driving. But just look at this guy, look. He's just pulled out on this BMW. Now he wants somewhere to turn round. Oh, can he make it? Oh yes. Anyway, Yeah, so I called Green Flag, and they pride themselves in getting to you within the hour. Yeah, whatever. 3 hours it took. To be fair, it only took them 2.5 hours to get to me. But then the guy that turned up, he went back to his workshop and he got a piece of pipe to put in. And I said, do you know what you needed, don't you? I said, you needed a bit of that hose, like off a vacuum cleaner. He says, that's exactly what I got you. He says, I put it like this, the cleaners, vacuum cleaners, the Henry, it's a little bit shorter today. So that's it, the cleaner will be chuntering, but I was happy. So yeah, we get underway. It's midnight at this stage. We left the services, 1:15 midnight. No more problems with a car. It runs exactly. It's never given me any bother, that car. I can't complain. It's a dream of a car. Anyway, I gets up to the M6, and I'm only on the M6 for 5 miles before I get into the M69. And bugger me, somebody decided they wanted an accident. Why would you do that? Why would you decide you want an accident? So yeah, close the motorway for another 1.5, 2 hours, I think it was. So long story short, we set off from Cornwall at 4:30 in the afternoon, having an enjoyable day on the beach, and we got home at just gone 3 o'clock, 3:15. So as near as makes no difference, it's 12 hours on the road, which is not fun. My little lad, he was as good as gold. He didn't complain, bless him. Just watched his DVDs, etc. Snuggled down under his blanket. But there was more to come. We'd asked the neighbours to look after the house and look after the cat. Now the cat pretty well looks after herself. We leave a load of dry food down for her, a load of water. She's got a cat flap, in and out she goes. Not a problem. Yeah? I set the irrigation system up to water the garden, so that wasn't a problem. And they were going to check on it for me. Well, we get home and there's a flood outside my front door. One of the irrigation pipes, the joint had burst open and it was flooded with water. So I turned the tap off. That's not a biggie, right? Opens the front door. Bugger me, it stunk of cat shit. What had happened is she'd caught the little switch on the cat flap. So she was able to get in, but then wasn't able to get back out again. Sometimes if she goes through it too fast, she triggers it. I don't know why. But yeah, and the neighbours were supposed to be checking on her, make sure she was okay and all that, blah blah blah. And she's a very clean cat and she really doesn't want to mess anywhere. So she'd gone upstairs under our bed and done a load of crap and whatnot, but she tried to do it on things that didn't matter so much, you know, old magazines, that kind of thing, bless her. But the house stunk, so you're really tired, you've walked in, it's 3:15 in the morning, you just want to go to sleep, right? Then you got to start picking up cat poo. I was hopping mad, not very chuffed. I've got a box of sweets for the neighbour to thank him for looking after everything, and put it like this, they haven't received them yet. No, nah. So yeah, that was me Cornish holiday. It didn't, one of the worst, and everyone was busy, so I don't recommend Cornwall in the middle of summer holiday. There we go. Anyway, back to the job. I'm out with a company from Nottingham. I'm just on my break. I've got 8 minutes left to take on my break. It's nice I've been on the digital as opposed to the analogue, which in the analogue tacho was down right underneath the steering wheel on that other wagon, and you couldn't really read it. You had to get out the vehicle to read it, so you never really knew what hours you were doing. So yeah, but so I'm down in the Portsmouth area. Let me see if I can find it on the map where I am. Fareham, there we are, Fareham. There we go, and I think I'm, where am I? Just up here somewhere. Yep. And now I've got to go, it's the same customer I'm delivering to. I've got to go up here to a place called Bentley, which is just out of Farnham. So I'm going from Fareham to Farnham. That sat nav says that's 50 minutes away. So 29 miles, that's fine. So I'll finish my break up and get up there. So yeah, it's quite a drive down here, but it was a nice drive. I'll try and do a bit of filming at some point on the move. I'm going to use I've got a mobile phone stand thing, and I'm going to try and clip this into that and see if I can film a bit. But just over, I'm opposite this little industrial park where there's a butty van just over there, but just to the right over there there's the Solent, which would have been quite nice to sit there, have my break, but there was nowhere to pull up, so I'm just in this entrance to this piece of land that's going to be a warehouse or something, but it's not being used at the minute. So yeah, using up my break. So there you go, that's what I've been doing, and I'm doing this job, get these 6 pallets off, and I go home, long drive home. So there we go. Alright guys, I shall catch you later. Bye bye.